scream queen and a wrestler walked into a bar, and here they are. Welcome to another edition of Evan Ginsberg's Legends TV, and I am so privileged to have my co-host John Winnell, a noted poet. We have a noted actress as well in Debbie D, and Frankie Starz, wrestler, musician, Renaissance man. We go back to the WBAI Fred Giabold days, right?
Absolutely. It was
20
great,
years.
Great time, a light show.
That's right. Frankie used to come to the studio 3 a.m. with Homicide and all the boys from the Doghouse, and we used to have a good old time, right?
Yeah, if we could remember where we were going, yeah.
Yeah.
3 a.m.
3 a.m. radio. That was a blast.
Toss the furniture around at BAI, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we were up there with performance artists, writers, musicians. It was like a Fellini movie, right?
It was tremendous, the array of talent that you had up there, and God bless Fred. I mean,
yeah, the late, great Fred Giabold, one of the few people on planet Earth nobody has a bad thing to say about, right?
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At his memorial, there were over 300 people. Amazing, right? Amazing. So anyway, John, what's doing with you?
Oh, you know, exciting, and thank God we're in the new year. I think it's going to be a good year. In 2 weeks, the year of the horse.
Ah.
So it'll be a prosperous year. At least that's what the fortune cookies say.
All right, all right. And Debbie D, are things prosperous for you? You have a
Every
lot of
year's-
projects?
Yeah, every year's a good year because it's exciting. There's new things coming about, new opportunities, and you pick and choose. And I just love life in general. So I think if you love life, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
And when you hear the term scream queen, are you offended, or because you're an actress, you go beyond just horror films?
Oh, right. I think it's my start. So you're always labeled with your start, and I guess it's okay. You got to be called something. And we've branched out. Like some scream queens actually went into the X-rated business, but they're still known as scream queens as well, or they went into wrestling. So it's
Different kind of scream queen, right?
well,
Yeah, yeah.
so I started out actually as a singer.
Oh, okay.
You know, I have
Tell us about that.
my record out
wow.
in the 90s. So, and there was a resurgence for this last
There you
year.
go.
And they were mixing it with Lady Gaga and stuff. And I said, oh, that's really good. I'm glad
Wow.
I heard about it. But the fans tell you about it. So, you know, I didn't, who would know it would go that far?
Yeah.
And then I was modeling as well. So in the modeling, I got picked up, and someone wanted to do a horror movie with me. And I thought, oh, well, you know, okay, I'll try that. And then after that, that's what I just kept going with the
And
horror and the acting.
Since we're on that subject, show us some of your memorabilia.
Well, here's one of the movies, Supernatural. I did this in Long Island, so I figured, okay, well, let me bring this one because there's so many.
That looks like John after a rough poetry
Yeah.
read. No,
That's
I'm
right.
joking.
After a wrestling poetry
there you go.
scream.
I'm glad I was like tomboyish because you get all kinds of gook and goo all over you, and I'm like, I don't care. I go on without makeup. It doesn't matter as long as I'm acting.
Yeah.
Because I really believe that's what I'm supposed to do, and I get so much enjoyment from it just to be. And, you know, I want to do the bigger budget movies, of course.
So was Fay Ray the original scream queen?
You know, I don't know.
Could be, right?
Yeah.
They were screaming in the silence, Phantom of the
I
Opera. You
think
just
it-
couldn't hear it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I guess when it was titled Scream Queen, that would be the question.
Right.
You know.
Interesting, right? Maybe the 40s or the 50s.
And
But
then-
Fay Ray's the original scream.
Okay, well, we can go with that.
Show us some of your other memorabilia.
Okay, well, and also, I do a lot of mermaid stuff, and I'm in Coney Island Mermaid Parade each year. So I was approached by Ron Foss, who created a character called Destiny the Vampire Mermaid. And he knew that I did vampires, and he knew I was a mermaid because I was in mermaid magazines as well, and the parade and whatnot. So I signed on. And through Destiny's appears in Scary Monsters magazine, which is sold all, you know, across the world, in Barnes & Nobles, Borders, comic book stores. And this one shows a writer that wrote and took my pictures to go along with the story. So I'm always looking for contributors who want to be published. They say it's hard to be published, but I can get you published if
There
you
you
draw even a picture of Destiny.
All right.
She's a shapeshifter, a writer of wrongs, and of course she has her legs on land. And here's another one of Jim Panetta did this one of a drawing of her. and he illustrated it. And there's 5 stories on that. So
Wow.
you can find me in there. So that's my alter ego, I guess.
There
And
you
then
go.
Mikey Pringle did this one. I didn't say that, but he took the pictures and also wrote the story. So the fans that follow that, it's fun, and I enjoy. That's my favorite character because I've played a lot of different characters.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But I want to do the big movies.
Of
So
course, of
I'm a screen
course.
queen. I do everything.
Hey, there you go. And speaking of alter egos, Frankie Starz is a rock musician as well. And tell us a little about your music.
My music ranges from everything from like today's country to heavy metal, and then back to 80s metal. I mean, I got involved in music when I was very young. 7 or 8 years old, I started playing guitar and singing, and then went up with various bands and got signed by Combat Records. Did a tour with Man-O-War in '86.
Wow.
The name of the band was Stalker. So if we were around when OJ was around, you know,
Oh.
doing his
Well, that's
thing, we would have made a lot of
And
money.
you,
Yeah.
and you could have had Debbie do the screaming.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know another Scream Queen, Robin Griggs, we were just talking about.
Okay.
A good friend of mine. And you do the Mermaid Parade, I know, and my friend Sierra, who's a belly dancer, she does the Mermaid Parade as well. We were just driving through Coney Island before. It's
Before
amazing.
you got here today.
What's
Absolutely.
left of Coney Island.
Right. It's all about the belly.
Yeah.
Belly dancer, mermaid show their belly. Yeah, Coney Island, that's interesting you bring that up because they had tore down a certain part of it besides what the storm took away.
Absolutely.
But the parade went on last year, and it was as beautiful as ever.
There you go.
So-
There you go. So why don't we take a quick look at one of Debbie D's films? You want to set this up for us?
And which one are we seeing now?
What was the first one? Not the Frankenstein one, the previous one.
Is it worth it?
Right.
It's a piece from, it's not completely edited yet, but here's one of the scenes. Is it worth it?
Okay, let's check it out, folks.
Oh, God.
Something wrong with the cable. I can't even get that CNN thing. It's always on all the time. Honey, what's wrong?
I can't take it anymore! That's how much as a strawberry, and this virus kills you? What's the matter with this universe? Not a moment's pleasure without dying! This is Christianity on crack!
But honey, you're an atheist.
That's what's driving me crazy! I don't even believe in God, but yet I have to put up with his sick sense of humor! Ah!
Jill, well, let's talk about this. No reason for us to both lose our minds.
Not another step further, health boy!
Jill, you don't want to do this. Put the cupcake down.
Don't I, Tom? This chocolatey goodness is all that's standing between me and insanity. Is it worth it, Tom? Is it worth sacrificing everything that makes you happy just to live a few minutes longer? Answer me, Tom. Is it worth it?
Jill, you can't mean this.
Really, Tom? Let's find out.
No, drop it, no, it's not worth it. Let go.
I can't take it anymore.
Oh, don't you ever do that again. I don't know what I would do without you.
All right, Debbie D in action, and we enjoyed that very much. And Debbie, you have another film clip that you're going to show. Set that up, the Frankenstein one.
Okay, this is Destiny, like I've showed you in the comic
Right.
in Scary Monsters. And I wanted to do come to life comic action series on her, and this is just a piece of one of the Destiny Come to Life stories.
All right, so let's see that, folks.
Vampire story.
Oh, with Frankenstein.
Your housekeeper said you wanted to see me.
Justine's more than a housekeeper. She assists me with my experiments.
She works with you here in the lab?
Well, of course, she's an excellent seamstress. I would match her stitching to a surgeon in Europe. And we grew up together. She's almost like family. Her mother was my mother's maid. She stayed with me all this time, in spite of all the scandal.
She must be an incredible woman.
So are you.
Thank you.
It's not exactly what I meant, but there is that as well. Justine told me about the cat. Let me see your wrist.
I heal quickly. Surprised?
Given your unique gifts, I shouldn't be. Your blood isn't human, is it?
Did that come from me?
After I saw what you did yesterday, I had to know more. Don't be angry with Justine. She was only following instructions.
In that little Swiss village where you experimented with the dead. You know, they still call you the Bloody Baron and the Devil Doctor. If you think you had trouble with monsters there, you haven't seen anything yet!
No, wait. It's not for me. It's for Elizabeth.
Elizabeth!
Yes, my wife.
I thought you said she was dead.
She is. But she doesn't have to be.
All right. So, Debbie, if there are fans who have not seen your work, pick 2 or 3 of your titles that you would give the highest recommendation to.
Well, I like The Haunting of Danbury House because I was singing in that one.
Okay.
And
okay.
I've sang in a few of them, but I like that one because I thought I was the first girl to sing House of the Rising Sun. But since then, there's been a lot of girls singing it.
Right.
But I always feel like I'm the originator of different things, clothing and whatnot, fashion and picking titles. And it seems like people follow. So if I keep that up, I'll be okay.
All right.
And I did, let me see, Dead Ink. I like Dead Ink because that's about a tattoo story. And I entered that in a few festivals, and it did very well. So that one, and you said top 3, huh? Okay, let's see. Well, Jebediah's Axe. I did that one in Texas. I think that one's going to be a good one.
There you
So
go.
I'll pick a new one for my 3rd.
All right, all right. And when you look back at your career, what do you consider some of the highlights? You've traveled around the world on the convention circuit. You've met a lot of interesting people. What sticks out?
Oh, you know, I should have thought of this question, but no, I don't have a favorite. What sticks out? I guess just meeting the bigger celebrities and seeing how down to earth they really are, and wanting to work with more people and do bigger budget movies.
Okay.
So maybe it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
My big thing that I could stick out.
Has anything you've done on screen actually disturbed you off screen? Because I've heard actresses say the role sometimes sticks with them after the fact, especially if it's something very dark.
No, I pretty much separate that.
That's good.
But there are things that you have to say in dialogue to be that person, and it's really not you. And sometimes people think that it's you.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, I'm not against people that are atheists, but I'm not, and I have to portray sometimes in movies. And people think, oh, she's an atheist. So right away, it has a life of its own, the rumor and such.
The
But
illusion.
yeah, like I think it's with anyone. You're acting a role and you can't get out of that role.
Exactly.
I think it's
sure,
better
sure.
nowadays than it was in the past because I saw her in that, I saw her in this, I saw him in that, and you should be able to play any role if you're an actor, if you're truly an actor.
Typecasting.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess.
And on screen, you've dealt with a lot of serial killers, slashes, monsters.
I've
Who's
been-
scarier? Them or the fans? Some of the fans are scary at these conventions. Yeah.
No, they're genuine. The
I'm
fans.
kidding,
I
I'm
haven't
kidding.
met any crazies yet, but I know that they're out there. I guess.
Come to a wrestling show.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up. Speaking of crazy, I've seen Frankie do some crazy things in the ring. We were talking about low-life Louis Ramos.
Oh, my God.
Tell us about some of the craziest things you've done in wrestling.
Oh, I've gone through some tables that were lit on fire, wrapped in barbed wire.
What does that feel like? Tell that to the average person. What does that feel like?
You don't feel it at first because your adrenaline is going so much.
It's on Wednesday that you feel it.
Yeah, you know, you feel it afterwards. Like, I went over the top ropes in a battle royal, and I slapped my ankle on the guardrail and my heel. And I was all right afterwards, and the drive home was 2.5-hour ride home, and an hour into it, I guess tears are rolling down my eyes, and I asked my wife to take over the driving. I could not drive anymore, no matter what I did to my heel. And then I guess when I took off my boot later on, my heel exploded, and it wasn't broken, or it was bruised really bad. But you get banged up and banged around. It isn't as easy as people think it is, or as padded of a ring as people think it is. You get hurt, and if you're not trained, you really shouldn't do it. And even those of us that are trained, a lot of us don't do it correctly. You know, and even when you do it correctly, it's still 2 or 3 or 4 people together that are sweaty, running around in this 18 by 18 or 16 by 16, and you never know when you're going to get hurt. Sure.
It's a different kind of illusion as opposed to the acting. That's, you know, so you're not showing that in enormous pain. I would think there would even be medical people on staff, but apparently not. Not if you're driving home and you've injured your foot or going through barbed wire. I mean, it's all on you guys, I guess.
We were talking about that. His blood's real, my blood's fake.
Yeah.
I haven't seen my real blood.
That's right.
We did that pro
Well,
wrestling.
I was like,
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, there are some states that require a medical professional at ringside or in the locker room at all times, and there are some that aren't. I mean, wrestling's regulated in some places and not regulated in others. There's no unifying regulating body.
So what happens if somebody really does get hurt? I mean, seriously gets hurt. I mean, it sounds like people really are getting hurt.
You would hope the promoter or the venue has insurance to cover your injury, and if not, that you have your own insurance that might cover it. But there's plenty of people that don't, and they're just a victim of, I guess, the system at that point.
I was once sitting with the late Tiger Khan and Abe Faro Peligro, and they get a call from Vinny Shark Attack Kid, who broke his leg in Baltimore. We're sitting at a diner in Queens. These guys just picked up, drove to Baltimore to go get him. You know, there's a brotherhood with wrestling. You know?
I guess it would have to be. So
yeah.
People have to, have that camaraderie.
It's a family. It definitely isn't just like any other family. You fight with your brothers.
Like a dysfunctional family picnic, the pro wrestling world.
It's a good way to
So the forks
explain
are
it.
really used in a different way, right?
Oh, absolutely. I've had forks to the forehead plenty of times.
Wow. So is John. He's done some rough readings down in the village. Yeah.
Oh my God.
ABC No Rio
That's right.
with the rats running around.
Anyway, folks, let's see Frankie Starz in heel persona in this
Oh boy, what do
quick
we got?
promo.
Oh.
Check it out, folks.
One more time, Foley. CWE Sunray Promotions, Lake Helen, Florida. Wherever the hell that is. You know, you came out here tonight and interrupted my drinking party with Nini Sambora, and I was going to have a lot of fun. But you had to ruin it, didn't you, Foley? Like you ruined everything. Valentine's Day Massacre. Your face is gonna be red with your own blood, Foley. And that's gonna be my Valentine's Day present for Nini Sambora. Have a nice friggin' day.
All right, Frankie Starz cutting a promo, which is an art. And we're going to also see the sensitive side of Frankie Starz.
Here we go.
Tell us about this song real quick.
This song I wrote back, I guess, when I was going overseas to Iraq. I was in the Marines back in '91, and I wrote it on the ship on the Guadalcanal, and I decided to publish it and copyright it and play it later on, and what you see is what you get with this one.
All right,
It's about a
check it out.
girl.
Check it out. It's about a girl. We've never heard a song about a girl before. Here we go. All right, folks, so we are back, and that was the sensitive side of Frankie's Starz. And now we're going to hear what Frankie is going to do with our friend Jay Lover tonight. Tell us what's...
Well, Jay Lover and I aren't going tonight, okay? Jay Lover and I are... I have to sit down and have a discussion with him March 1st at SWA out here in Deer Park.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's the SWARevolution.com, and you'll see, we run a little group called Damage Incorporated, and I kind of sent my messenger out there to let him know, Jay Fabs, to let Jay Lover know exactly what I wanted to go on that night, because I couldn't get there. And instead they beat up Jay Fabs, which is ridiculous. If I send somebody, it's he's my emissary, you know what I'm saying? He's my messenger. You don't beat up the messenger. If you got something to say to me, Jay Lover's head is already big, but it's getting too big. Like physically big and mentally big, yeah. You can't tell the difference with him because he can't even put the phone from his ear to his mouth because it doesn't fit.
Wow.
He's got like it's a Grand Canyon from the ear to the mouth to the ear to the mouth. And at SWA Snow Brawl March 1st out here in Deer Park, I'm going to sit Jay Lover down. I'm going to tell him exactly what's going on, the way I want it to go on at Snow Brawl. But for tonight, Tonight we got, what is it, Stronghold Pro Wrestling. And I got this little pipsqueak named John Fortuno, the flying Italian, okay, who's about her size, wants to challenge me to a match. Are you serious? Look at my face. If you're watching this, John Fortuno, you ain't going to be fortunate tonight. No, I am not letting you walk out of the ring under your own power. I've made that decision already. And if you were lucky, I'd let her come in and beat the crap out of you.
I'd like to see that. Yeah.
It could very well happen. Are you free tonight? Would you like to come out to the ring and beat the hell out of this fly-flying Italian?
Sure.
He's a pizza delivery boy with pimples on his face. That's what he is.
I'll pay for that.
You gonna pay for that too?
I'll pay for that, yeah.
All right. These guys are gonna fight you tonight, not me, because I'm too good for you.
Frankie Starz. All right. All right. We've seen the sensitive side of Frankie Starz. We've seen the violent side. Frankie, tell the viewers how to get in touch with you.
Find me on Facebook. It's Frankie Starz with a Z, I-E for the Frankie. And then you can also look up Frankie Starz for Congress in 2014 because that's what I'm going to be doing in South Jersey.
That's right.
And Evan is going to be my campaign manager.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. I just want to say something quickly, and this is totally improv. Frankie and I have very different politics, but we're still dear friends. We've known each other over 20 years. We always support each other. And I think it's horrible, horrible that people break up friendships over politics, religion, etc. Never talk politics and religion at the dinner table, folks. Some people just can't handle it. And really, I think friendship is stronger than politics. You're allowed to disagree.
Evan, we've been friends for 20 years. We'll never not be friends, no matter what.
Even if we argue on Facebook.
Even if we argue on Facebook.
Yeah. And Debbie D, please tell the viewers how to get in touch with you.
Well, DebbieD.com, that's DEBBIE, D.com, and Facebook, Destiny TVM, that's for Destiny, the Vampire Mermaid, so the TVM, yeah. And Twitter and all the accounts under WD. And if you need a scream queen or an actress or a spokesperson or
somebody
what-
beat up my opponent
Yeah.
tonight at Stronghold Pro. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Here out in Deer Park. If you're coming out, you're going to beat up John Fortuno.
You know, the world needs more vampire mermaids. I think
Yeah.
there's a shortage of that. And John, tell the people how to get your chapbook. And John's going to read for us later, folks.
It's John, JONWINELL at yahoo.com. And I'm at Facebook as well. And tune in, enjoy, and if you like it, just contact me. That's all. Easy enough.
All right, and folks, we will be right back with Rick Brindell, Kevin Holmgren. We have some great musical guests coming up in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. For nearly a decade, Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio has featured interviews with the greatest names in the arts and sports. Heard worldwide at legendsradio.net, the program has featured these great musical legends: Ray Manzarek of The Doors, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, Judy Collins, Roberta Flack, and many more. Stars from movies, TV, and comedy have included Jenny McCarthy, Wayne Brady, 30 Rock's Judah Friedlander, Shelley Berman, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, David Allen Greer, and Paul Mooney. Stars of pro wrestling and MMA include Bruno Sammartino, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Superstar Billy Graham, and Frank Shamrock. Co-hosted by renowned journalist Dr. Mike Lano, Legends Radio is heard Wednesdays 7 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard. We are archived 24/7 with hundreds of hours of classic interviews. Legends Radio also features the best in indie music, showcasing talent deserving wider exposure.
Brooklyn, baby, don't forget the gravy. We are soldiers.
You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't you dare miss Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio.
Stop the truck! Stop the truck! Thank you.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
All right, we are back, folks, and I just want to do a quick shout out to Sissy Gamesh. I co-hosted her show yesterday on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. I'll be co-hosting with her once a month, the Sissy Gamesh Show. We had a lot of fun with improv artist Pete Bregman and Travis Sharp, who are from the wrestling world as well, Professor Paul Pope and Mr. Everything. We had a blast, along with Sherwin XL. So that's coming up, and Sissy did a nice interview with yours truly. You can check that out as well. And next week, right here on Legends TV, we have the great Edwin Vasquez in a live concert, and we're going to make this very theatrical, dancers, actors, fleshing out his songs. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And Frankie Starz and I would like to do a shout out to all our friends at Brooklyn Tech, our alumni. And without further ado, we are joined by Rick Brindell and Kevin Holmgren, and the great musical artists, and they're going to be performing in just a bit. And Rick, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you very much
My
for having us.
pleasure.
We appreciate that. I'm a local Long Island boy, born and raised, and always loved music since I was a little kid. Remember seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show,
Wow.
dating myself a little bit.
50-year
Yeah,
anniversary.
50-year anniversary, that's right, coming right up. And, but it wasn't really until just recently that I decided to take my music career and bring it to a full circle, so to speak. So, you know, my story is I'm a you know, just a normal guy. You know, I work my 9-to-5 job, and I'm somewhere in middle life at this point, and I'm trying to bring that career to fruition. And if you know, I can inspire others, I know there's a lot of other people out there who, you know, want to do the same thing. Sometimes procrastinate like I did for a long time, or just don't know how to get started. If I can inspire others to do it as well, whether they're musicians or artists or whatever they may be, that I would consider that a success.
You want to know something? We're working on a documentary called The Stage is an Altar about ageism in the music industry. And we had last week these brilliant rappers, and they weren't kids, in their 30s and their 40s. And why can't the world have a 30 or 40-year-old rapper? Why can't the world have a 40 or 50-year-old rocker, et cetera, so on? Great is great, you know, music is music. I think it's outrageous. You always hear about racism, sexism. You know, why is ageism the last accepted ism?
Well, I'm sorry, John. It is in the music business. You're right. It is, you know, everybody, you think about the record companies and so forth, they want the young, the hot.
They want 13 to 22.
That's
I've
right.
pitched artists to record companies. 13 to 22.
Right.
What does a 13-year-old have to offer as far as wisdom, experience? Come on.
I
you
mean,
know, really.
John Hurt was discovered, I think, when he was 60. I mean, he cut a record in the late 20s, and then 40 years later, he was playing in Greenwich Village, and Tom Paxton and all these other guys were seeing him, and he was in his 60s already. He was a share farmer or down in some Mississippi county. So, you know, great is great to continue
Yeah,
with.
and I think it is an inspiration. I mean, you're pursuing your music, and you're sitting on a worldwide TV show now playing for people in Australia. I mean...
that blows my mind.
Oh, really?
That blows my mind.
So it does pay to be persistent and never give up on your dreams.
That's true.
And Kevin, tell us a little about yourself.
I'm a lifelong bass player, actually. Most people start on guitar and then switch over to bass. I actually started out on bass in 1967.
Yeah.
And I've been enjoying bass all these years. Hooked up with Rick about 7 years ago, became friends, and we both have musical interests, and we brought them together. We've been doing duets for a while. We've been doing separate solo work as well at open mics, and we just fall back together every now and then and have a great time enjoying good music. Just to mention what you were talking about ageism, I think with good music is ageless and timeless.
Absolutely.
You mentioned the Beatles. 50 years ago, they came and conquered America. Beatle Fest, which I go to every year with my good buddies, is still going strong. They're going to be
Steve Ludwig, one of my co-hosts, he's going there also. He loves the Beatles.
Yeah, I think good music is ageless, and young people, older people, midlife, old age, whatever. If they hear good music, they're going to enjoy it.
And we're going to hear some good music in just a few minutes when you guys play live, and John's going to read a poem as well. Who are some of your musical influences?
Well, my biggest musical influence, as I'm sure people will see when we play, is Jorma Kaukonen and Hot Tuna.
Oh, okay.
Always
I saw Jorma back in the day.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, he still plays. You know,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
probably 73 now.
Wow.
He has a school in his farm, I think.
That's right. In fact, I
You-
attended that
Oh,
Fur Peace Ranch when I started playing guitar a few years ago.
Hot Tuna.
That's right. One of the things I wanted to accomplish was to learn how to play fingerstyle guitar and blues, like Jorma did, being a lifelong fan. And I found that he had a website, a teaching website at that point, called breakdownway.com. And I learned my basic technique from there. And then I went out to Fur Peace Ranch in Ohio, and I took lessons from Jorma, and it was just a great experience. And even my friends said, I mean, it was only a 4-day seminar, but my friends had said when I came back that, wow, I can't believe how much you've changed. And one of the things that Jorma had said that I still remember to this day is it's all about the song.
Oh, yeah.
All about the song. And I think that inspired me, really. And I continue these days. And one of the other things I wanted to do, which I had never done before, was write my own songs. And, of course, after that, I finally stopped procrastinating and started writing songs. And I have some of my songs actually produced down in Nashville with a fabulous music producer, Kim Copeland.
Okay.
And so she's helped me a lot in my career as well.
So I'm very proud of you guys. Never give up your dreams. And Kevin,
Never,
who are some of your
never.
musical influences?
The Beatles.
I heard of
actually-
them. I heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as my playing style, actually, I don't know if you remember records. The turntable
I
records.
certainly do. I have 2,000 of them.
I learned how to play bass by playing along with Cream, Wheels of Fire, and Jack Bruce's melodic playing style is what is in my fingers.
The great Jack Bruce.
Yes,
Yeah,
sure. He's still out there producing music. He has a new album coming out soon as well, and also great bass players like Chris Squire of Yes and John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin. They're not just background guys. They add so much to the music.
Well, he produces too, John Paul. I think he did REM and.
Yep.
You know who my bass player was? Bootsy Collins.
Yeah.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
Bootsy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a different kind of bass. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we would love to talk forever, but we want to hear you play. So please give out any contact information.
Great. You can find me on Facebook. It's actually facebook.com/RockinRickyBrindell. I can be found at Twitter at rbrindell and at ReverbNation.com/RickBrindell as my main contacts.
All right. And Kevin?
I'm in a couple of bands. Actually, one I've been in a long time is a New York City-based band called the Howlin' Thurstons. We have a website, howlintthurstons.com. We're also on Reverb Nation. Also have a Long Island-based band that Rick and I have both been playing with for a while, Luna Sea. We play locally. We don't have a Facebook page yet, but we're working on it.
There you go. There you go. So, folks, we will be back in just a moment. We're going to hear some great live music and live poetry. Don't you dare go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Steve Ludwig. When I was 52 years old, I had quintuple open heart bypass surgery, and I wrote a book about it. It's called See You in CCU. Apart from having my rib cage sawed apart, I experienced temporary loss of memory, depression, and sleepless nights in unbearable pain. A lot of people might think there's nothing funny about that, but I think it all depends on how you look at it. See you in CCU.
This is Beth.
Hi.
Oh, congratulations. When are you due?
I'm not pregnant.
Oh, look at that. Excuse me.
You're totally thin.
You look very sexy.
For life's bleachable moments, all it takes is 3/4 of a cup.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn? Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote, or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure. You'll be happy you did.
You know you already want a Toyota, but when you want more from your Toyota store, you want Smithtown Toyota, where every Toyota comes with Smithtown Toyota's Toyota for Life program, giving you lifetime New York State inspections, lifetime 10% discounts on all parts and service, 2 years of complimentary oil changes, 2 years of scheduled maintenance, and more, all at no cost to you, plus low clear-out deals on every Toyota in stock. Get more from your Toyota store. Hurry to Smithtown Toyota.
To keep in the musical theme, I'm going to read a poem called Lady Day Above Grand Street. Light creaks through opaque cracks. Grand Street never sleeps. Along these rows of cold water flats, dust and curiosity swim like eels. Music flutters within the buzz of broken Spanish and Chinese. Aged shopkeepers sell satin, lace, and watches from behind locked doors. On the edge of a building, a brown wall with names scrawled, nonsense to most, tales of young lovers left for amusement. The old sense of brine and leather abound, echoes of horses clomp, is lifted upon the wings of curious pigeons who scatter at the first sign of rain. I sit by the window for a lone black girl with a silk flower behind her ear to arrive, the ghost of Lady Day, God-blessed child, a lost memory, as the music blaring from open windows holds no meaning. Lilting birds float in shadow of voices miles from nowhere. Broken bottles glint yellow and green. Her eyes bear no witness to these illusions, laughing as the clock, stuck at 2:20, just sits along the wall and never completes its furious circle. And now I want to have the honor to introduce to Madhouse Studios Rick Brendel and Kevin Holgram.
Okay, thank you all very much. We're going to start with a hot tuna song. Loving you, baby, is just like rolling on a log. Loving you, baby, just like rolling on a log. I'll be your daddy, but I just won't be your dog. Sun gonna shine in my back door one day. I said the sun gonna shine in my back door one day. The wind gonna blow all my blues away. Be a headlight on that westbound train. I said I wanna be a headlight on the westbound train. I'm leaving here and I won't be back again. I know you rider gonna miss me when I'm gone. I know you rider gonna miss me when I'm gone. Miss your daddy from rolling in your arms. Miss your daddy from rolling in your arms. Thank you. Thank you very much. 1, 2, 3. I'm wishing I could go fishing out in the deep blue sea. I'm itching and I'm twitching to catch some mahi-mahi. The swells are large, but I don't care. Got the ocean spraying right through my hair. I'm wishing I could go fishing with you. I'm fleeing to go skiing up on a mountain top. I'm moving and I'm grooving and hoping that I don't flop. It's biting cold, but I don't care. I'm breathing in clean and really fresh air. I'm fleeing to go skiing with you. Woo! I'm rambling to go gambling at the casino tonight. They're wheeling and they're dealing the cards to set me right. Losing my money, but I don't care. All the pretty women gonna make me stare. I'm rambling to go gambling with you. Never met another girl like you who makes me feel the way that you do. You're like the dawn on a sunny day, or the moonlight shining over the bay. Pinch me now, this must be a dream. If I'm a car, you're my gasoline. Have to get you into my life. I'll ask you to be my wife. shopping to buy you a diamond ring. I'm hoping and I'm praying that I can afford that bling. I'm spending my dough, but I don't care. 'Cause if you say yes, our lives will be shared. I'm hopping to go shopping with you. Oh, I'm a rockin' and I'm rolling out to a party tonight. I'm playing my guitar now because everything is alright. Oh, the world is crazy, but I don't care. 'Cause you and me, baby, make quite a pair. I'm rocking and I'm rolling with you. Oh, yeah, baby, I'm rocking and I'm rolling with you. Thank you, thank you. I got me a mean woman. She sure can't do me no good. I got me a mean woman. She sure can't do me no good. Treats me like a fool, just like I knew she would. Just like the man told me, she wouldn't treat me right. She wrecked my car in the daytime, then she threw me out at night. Me woman, she sure can't do me no good. I got me a mean woman, she sure can't do me no good. Treats me like a fool, just like I knew she would. I told her I wanna, and I'd be her loving man. She took everything that I had, then she turned her back around. Me woman, she sure can't do me no good. I got me a mean woman, she sure can't do me no good. Treats me like a fool, just like I knew she would. Bought her fancy pearls and a new wardrobe too. I took her out for supper, then she ran right back to you. Me mean woman, she even kicked my dog. I got me a mean woman, she even kicked my dog. Meanest damn woman in this world I ever saw. She was so mean she even kicked my dog. Thank you. Okay, this last one is for all the middle-aged folks here. This is called Golden Age. Growing up was easy to do, and everything was oh so new, and the world was so much different than it is today. I had lots of friends in school, jump in the pool, me up one more drink. And I don't care that my liver is fading away. It sucks growing older. Look back across my shoulder. It's been a long, hard road. The clock is ticking and it cannot be slowed. Back hurts me when I sneeze, and arthritis set into my knees, and my body can't take the weather when it gets too cold. Metabolism fading away. I had to eat a lot of food today, and my just a little too bold. It sucks growing older. Look back across my shoulder. The future is scaring me. Well, golden age is coming to me. I used to be a younger man, and aging gracefully was just the plan. But I had to get out of bed and pee 3 times last night. Skin is beginning to sag. My vitality is starting to lag. And that little blue pill helps the blood flow to be just right. It sucks growing older. Look back across my shoulder. It's been a long, hard road. The clock is ticking and it cannot be slowed. Blood pressure way too high. I can't hear too well although I try. And my rock and roll music is just a little bit too loud. A kid took over my job. He dresses just like a slob. But I guess the boss man's son makes you really proud. Thank you, everybody.